Welcome back to Yogaxpress. It's all about moving the body to still the mind. My name is Banu Suresh. I'm your host for this program. I do occasionally stretch as well, so I could, I guess, technically call myself a yoga participant as well. I'm also a yoga teacher, but I don't teach very often outside of the studio space. But I'd like to welcome the same team that we had the last time, including the same crew, as well as those of us on the mat right here, with a little bit of a role change. In the control room, our crew, we have Antonio, Lizette, James, Tanya on manual camera, and Akram. We have 5 crew today, full house, so I dragged Samara on the mat. Samara is also crew. She's been crewing for several programs here at Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Maybe someday you'll have your own show. Samara, welcome back.
Thank you.
We have Melissa, who's a participant today. She's actually warmed us already enough to handle Betty. Betty Ho. Melissa, I noticed the last time we had you on the show last Monday, you actually told us that you were with a nonprofit organization and you've been teaching. I meant to ask you, have you been teaching there?
Yeah, so I teach a little bit and then I help with their marketing materials too.
You do, okay.
For the kids.
And you also teach at our Ayurveda school where we
Yes.
do the Ayurveda program together. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And thanks for building up our energy to be able to handle this girl, Betty Ho. We have a kind of a mini celebrity, probably in my eyes, maybe a real celebrity out here. Betty, I know you've been on various programs out there. Was it what are they? I think America Today or something like
Good
that.
Morning
Good Morning America.
America.
Okay. And you have more than that. You've got all kinds of stuff. So fill us in.
Yeah, so Good Morning America, the first appearance I was on was with Elizabeth Gilbert. She was promoting her book, 10th anniversary of Eat, Pray, Love. So I wrote in and shared my story of how, a snippet of why I started practicing yoga or how that influenced my life. So that was the reason why I was invited in as an audience member. And secondly, I was invited a second time to Good Morning America. Was with Cameron Diaz. She was promoting her book Longevity. So it's about how women age gracefully in their 30s. And I was able to come on and kind of
Literally been in the limelight. I better shake your hand before you become too famous. Or we won't be able to get hold of her.
Not at all. This is my 30 seconds of.
Hey, why not? We're all entitled to that, right?
Yeah, great.
So,
Thank you.
Betty, what else have you been up to? I know you also work with a nonprofit.
I do.
Correct?
So I just joined a nonprofit,
Uh-huh.
Sojourn Yoga. We promote girls' education through holding retreats throughout the world. So
Well, tell our viewers how you can reach you, how they can reach you there.
So they can reach me through Facebook and Instagram. My Facebook and Instagram is Yogi Sister. That's YOGISISTER. And I'll have my full schedule on there. I'll be on the trip to Nicaragua in January. The dates you can check on my Yogi Sister Facebook and Instagram page.
You were talking about some blind folks in the last episode.
Oh, yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I also do work with, I teach meditation for Guild of the Blind, Catholic Charities, and we're going to incorporate eventually some yoga classes for the blind as well.
Oh, lovely.
So, exactly. So I do work with a very unique group of individuals with certain disabilities. And for instance, one of my private students has DiGeorge syndrome, suffers from DiGeorge syndrome. This is a degenerative disease.
Right.
And as well as he also has autism. So I work with him through breath work, meditation, as well as yoga.
Oh, beautiful.
So that's the
It's
community I
amazing
serve.
how when we use one faculty, if someone loses their sight, their hearing becomes better because the body tries to make up. You lose one kidney, the other kidney takes over. That's why I like to practice with my eyes closed so I can listen to you better. Is there anything else you'd like our viewers to know about you? Because I know there's a lot to you and we just can't cover it in 2 minutes. But
No, just check my my page. I'm just really happy to be here today. Thank you for inviting me.
Our
to join, and
pleasure.
I'm
Our pleasure.
looking forward to practicing with everyone today.
pleasure and terror both mixed together right here. So
Thanks.
check out Betty Ho. Instagram, Facebook, it's right there on the screen. Yogi Sister, YOGISISTER.
That's great.
Betty, you've been doing great work for a lot of folks out there, so I'd urge you to be compassionate with me over here on the mat. What do you have planned for us? How do we begin?
It'll be gentle class. We're gonna start in a meditation seat. So for the viewers at home, find an area where you can, have some space where there's some movement. We'll move through some warrior poses. But first, let's warm up and let's get into a seat. Connect with our breath. So go ahead and cross your legs or over your
Is it okay to sit on my
Yes,
heels?
you can sit in hero's pose. You can definitely sit in between your heels if you like, or just sitting on your heels.
If I sit between my heels, I can't come back up.
Okay, that's fine. So go ahead and if you want to mimic my seat, this is easy pose. You can either cross the right leg forward or the left leg, whatever feels comfortable. Just find a comfortable seat. And just start noticing your breath. Start taking an inhale and exhale. Maybe you want to gaze at the tip of your nose. Maybe draw your hands on your thighs, or maybe relax it on the knees. And if you feel comfortable enough, go ahead and close your eyes. Just start breathing, just focusing on the breath. Just allow your breath to settle in the body. Breathing in and out of your nose. Draw the shoulder blades back towards the spine, pressing the spine in towards your seat, pressing the seat in towards the mat, in towards the earth, and then lift the heart up and out for the deep in-breath and exhale to release. Maybe take your chin parallel to the mat. Deep inhale to relax and exhale to relax. And then maybe now you want to create equal lengths in your breath. Sometimes it helps to count to 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. On the next in-breath, check your hands to heart center, pressing the thumbs against the sternum. Deep inhale, lifting the heart up and out. As you exhale, pull the forearms in towards the torso. As you exhale, feeling your body shrinking. Deep inhale, lifting the heart up and out. Exhale to relax. Maybe on the next inhale, you want to start opening your eyes. Coming back into the space. Exhale, releasing your hands on towards your knees. Coming back to a neutral spine. Hope you're okay then.
My crew didn't allow me to keep my water here, so I'm relying on you to take
Just come back into the seat. That's all right. So deep inhale, find the lengthen through the torso. And exhale, just drawing your attention back into the seat. On the next in-breath, we'll lift the heart up and out, drawing the shoulder blades back towards the spine as we lift the chin up, gazing up towards the ceiling, drawing the crown of the head back towards the back of the wall here. And exhale, rounding your shoulders in towards your heart. We're going to gaze at our ankle. And if you can tuck your chin and gaze at your belly if it's in your practice today. Deep inhale, lifting gently up and out. Gazing up towards the ceiling, allowing the crown of the head to reach towards the back wall. Exhale, rounding the shoulders in towards the heart. Gazing at your ankle or your heel. If you can push further, go ahead and tuck the chin in and gaze at the belly, rounding the shoulders in towards the heart. Inhale, lifting up and out again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, go ahead and draw the shoulders in towards the heart again. Let's come back to neutral spine on the in-breath. On the exhale, release the hands in front of you. We're going to gently come into a tabletop. So draw the knees behind the wrists. And make kind of like a square shape with your wrists and your knees. Draw the shoulders over your wrists, your hips over the knees. Top of the feet is on the ground. Spread the palms out really wide. Connect to the mat. We're going to drop our belly in towards the mat. In an inhale, moving into cow pose. We're going to lift the heart, lift the tailbone, gaze up towards the ceiling. Draw the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. As you exhale, push the mat away from you, rounding your back like a cat. Gaze at your shin if you can. Now you want to look beyond your shin. Look at your feet. You only want to see the inside sliver arch of your foot. If let's say you can't see your feet at all, pull your feet inward so you can see the inside of your foot. If you see your entire foot, maybe shift your feet out behind your knees. Inhale, drop the belly towards the mat, gazing up towards the ceiling, lifting the heart, lifting the tailbone, roll the shoulder over the wrist. Exhale, pushing the mat away from you, rounding the back like an angry cat, shoulder over wrist, hips over knees. Deep inhale, drop the belly towards the mat again. And maybe you want to start gazing at your nose, closing your eyes, and creating some movement in the body that makes sense to you in cat pose. So maybe you want to shift left to right. We all have different shapes and sizes, so our cat-cows are not going to be exactly the same. And sometimes we might have certain aches and pains in our own body that we want to create certain movements for. So maybe you want to go left to right. Be playful. We sometimes forget to be playful with our own bodies. So create any kind of movement that feels good to you. Remember to breathe in and out of your nose. Inhale to drop the belly, and then go ahead and come back to a natural tabletop. Let's drop our belly on the in-breath. Inhale, lifting the heart and the tailbone. On the exhale, we're going to tuck the toes, shift our hips up and back, pushing into our first downward facing dog. So separate your feet hips distance apart. Spread the palms out really wide. Gaze at your shin. Press the heels down in towards the mat. We're going to take a deep inhale. Lift the right leg up and back. Bend the knees. We're going to open up the hips here. Look underneath the right armpit. Make a circle with your knee. Imagine the top of your thigh bone making a circle inside the socket. Press the left heel down in towards the mat as you're making a circle. Go ahead and release the right foot to meet the left. Bend the knee, pedal the feet out gently. Come to a stable downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up, bend the knee, open up the hip, look underneath the left armpit, make a circle with the knee, and then imagine the top of the thigh bone making a circle inside of the socket, opening up the hip a little bit more, pressing the right heel down in towards the mat. Go ahead and relax and release the left foot to meet the right, bend the knee, pedal the feet out gently. Press the heels in towards the mat. Maybe you want to press your palms into the mat so that it'll straighten out your arms completely. Gaze at your shin. Take a deep in breath. On the exhale, bend your knees. We're going to gently walk, connecting into the mat, coming into our first forward fold.
Keep working forward. My crew is so amazing. They got me some water. So thank you.
Allow the crown of the head to reach towards the ground. Maybe you want to draw your weight forward towards the toes so that you can even out the balance in the body. Maybe you want to flutter your lips here. Let's try that again. That's fun. It is really fun, isn't it? Or maybe you want to take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale any stale air out of the body. As you swing left to right, deep inhale through the nose, pressing your energy into the feet. Exhale to release. You can nod your head, shake it yes, shake it no, or you can grab opposite elbows, swinging your hips left to right. Remember to press your weight in towards your feet, grounding into the root chakra there. And take a deep inhale, take your hands to the hips. And then you want to find the pointy part of your hip. And then go ahead and roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming to stand. Slowly coming up. Roll the shoulder blades back. Gaze at the tip of your nose, and then go ahead and press into the pointy part of your hips. So whenever I'm calling out hips distance apart, you want your knees directly below that pointy area. So go ahead and try that. Separate your feet, hips distance apart. Take a deep inhale, pressing, drawing the energy into the ground, lengthening through the legs, all the way through the crown of the head. And to locate the crown of the head, we're going to take our palm, place it in between our brows, and reaching the middle finger all the way back to the back of our head. That's where the crown of the head is. So keep that in mind for a cue. Gently release the left hand to meet the right on your hip. And exhale, releasing your hands by your side. Let's heel toe our feet together, coming into our first Tadasana pose. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, maybe broaden the collarbone. Draw the shoulder blades back towards the spine, pressing the spine in towards the earth, gazing at the tip of your nose. We're going to take a couple breaths here. Deep inhale, pressing your weight in towards your feet, growing taller in mountain pose. Exhale, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, allowing your weight to just press in towards the ground. Inhale, pressing into the earth, growing taller through the legs, through your torso, through the crown of your head. Exhale, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, pressing the energy back into the earth. Let's move through some Surya Namaskar A. So go ahead and you can separate your feet, hips distance apart if maybe putting your toes together feels uncomfortable for those at home. I'm going to scoot up here so that we can maybe stagger a little
Good
bit
idea.
to move through some flows. These will be gentle flows here. Inhale, just put your hands up over your head,
Up right away,
reaching for the ceiling. Maybe reach one more inch towards the ceiling. Press the feet in towards the ground. You should feel the stretch on both sides of the body here. Gaze at your fingertips. Deep inhale for the stretch. Maybe push your hips forward. Reach the arms back for a slight back bend here. Deep inhale. As you exhale, go ahead and round your heart in towards your shin, coming into a forward fold. You can drop your fingertips in line with the toes, or maybe just rest them on your shin or your ankle. Inhale to lift the heart up. Gaze at the front of the room. As we exhale, we're going to plant the entire palm down. Take your feet back, coming into plank pose. Roll the shoulder over the wrist, keeping the hips high. Exhale the knees down. We're going to inhale the hips up, and then exhale the chest in between the palms, preparing for low cobra. Gaze at the tip of your nose. Take a deep inhale here, and exhale, shift your chest forward. Inhale, shift your chest forward. Squeeze your elbows in towards your side. On the exhale, tuck your toes. Shift your hips up and back, pushing into a downward facing dog. You can always stop at child's pose first if you'd like, and then come into a downward facing dog. Entirely up to you. We're going to take a couple breaths here. Deep inhale through the nose. Press the heels in towards the mat. Exhale through the nose. Pressing the torso towards the thighs. Inhale, deep in breath through the nose. And exhale, pressing the heels down. In honor of time here, we're just going to take 2 breaths. For those at home, you can take 3 additional breaths. 5 breaths in downward facing dog. Go ahead and gently bend your knees. Walk gently in between your hands, coming into a forward fold. Allow the crown of the head again to reach towards the ground. Maybe pull the weight towards the ball of your feet if you can. Fingertips in line with the toes. Inhale to lift the heart. Gaze at the front of the room. Exhale, using your peace fingers here, your index finger and your middle finger, grab your big toes and push your forehead in towards your shin, coming into a forward fold. Pressing your feet all the way in towards the ground, feeling the connection with the entire foot as you're pulling the big toes up with your peace finger. Releasing the peace finger. Inhale, reaching your hands up over your head, reaching for the ceiling. Pressing your feet in towards the mat, feeling the stretch through the entire body. Maybe reach 1 more inch towards the sky. Maybe pushing your pelvis forward. And then maybe your arms back for a slight back bend here. And exhale, release your hands by your side. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe heel toe your feet together, coming into Tadasana pose. Draw the shoulders back, pressing the spine in towards the earth. Gaze at the tip of the nose here. At home, you can take 5 breaths. Here, we'll just take 2 breaths. Deep inhale through the nose, pressing your feet in towards the mat, lengthening through the entire body, feeling yourself growing taller through the crown of the head. Exhale, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, allowing your weight to press in towards the mat again. 1 more breath. Inhale, pressing the feet in towards the mat. Growing taller. Exhale to release. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, sweep your hands up over your head, reaching for the ceiling. Exhale, we're going to dive forward 1 more time. Heart in towards your legs, forward fold. Fingertips in line with the toes. Inhale to lift the heart. Gaze at the front of the room. Exhale, plant your hands down again. Take your feet back, coming into plank pose. Roll the shoulder over the wrist, keeping the hips high. We're going to exhale the knees onto the ground. Inhale the hips up again. Exhale the chest in between the palm. Inhale, roll the shoulders forward. Top of the feet comes onto the ground. Coming into low cobra. Gaze at the tip of your nose. And then exhale, tuck your toes, shift your hips up and back in downward facing dog. You can come to a child's pose first again, if you'd like, and then shift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, you want to go ahead and spread the palms out really wide. Take a deep inhale through the nose. As you exhale, draw the shoulders away from the ears and maybe gaze at your shin if you can. If you can, tuck your chin in and gaze at the belly. You want to lengthen through the entire torso. And you're going to press the heels in towards the mat here. 1 more breath, deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, bend your knees. We're going to walk forward, coming into a forward fold again. Allow the crown of the head to reach for the ground. Draw the weight towards the ball of your feet so that you can feel
the weight distribution through your feet. You're not putting all the weight on your heel, you're putting it through the entire foot. Fingertips in line with the toes if they're on the ground. Otherwise, go ahead and rest them on the ankles. Inhale to find the length. Lift the heart, gaze at the front of the room. As we exhale, we're going to go ahead and exhale, grabbing our heels with our fingertips, pushing into a forward fold, a deeper forward fold. You can press your feet in towards the mat. Maybe if you have it in your practice, you can always place your forehead in towards your shin.
Oh, my 12 pack's in the way.
Your 12 pack's in the way. That's okay. We'll give you 2 extra packs. Press your feet in towards the mat. On the in-breath, inhale. Reach your hands up over your head, reaching for the ceiling. Press your feet in towards the ground, reaching 1 more inch. Feeling the stretch through the entire body. Maybe press the pelvis forward again. Arms back for a slight back bend. And exhale, release your hands by your side. Heel toe your feet together. Come into Tadasana pose here. Let's connect with ourselves, with our breath. Let's take a couple breaths here. Deep inhale, pressing your feet in towards the ground, gazing at the tip of your nose. And exhale to release. 1 more breath. Inhale, growing taller through the legs, through the torso, through the crown of the head, which is right up here. And exhale, start opening your eyes to release. Let's go ahead and heel toe our feet apart. Taking the left foot at 10 o'clock, right foot 2 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and stretch the body, lengthen the body. We're going to come into God or Goddess pose quickly here. So press your feet in towards the ground. As you inhale, you're going to lengthen through the body, growing taller here. You can either have cactus arms or just have your hands rest on your hips, whatever you feel comfortable, whatever God or Goddess you'd like to be today.
This one's for the girls, Tanya and Lizette.
So
Feel
for me,
free.
I'm just going to have my hands on my hips. Inhale to lengthen through the crown of the head, pressing in towards the sky. And as I exhale, I'm going to press the seat in towards the mat. So naturally, the knees will go ahead and bend. I'm going to draw about 3 inches down. We're going to hold it here. You might start feeling a burning sensation in the thigh. Inhale to find the length through the entire body. As we exhale, we're going to go ahead and draw the seat 3 more inches down. Gaze at the tip of your nose. Find the focus here. Deep inhale through the nose, lengthening through the entire body. Exhale to release. Deep inhale through the nose, lengthen the body, and then exhale, drawing your hands to heart center, coming into Malasana pose, squatted pose. So go ahead and straighten, lengthen through the spines to allow the spine to maybe stretch towards the ceiling. And then pressing the bottom of your tricep and maybe your knee in towards each other. So there's a pushing and pulling action here. And your palms are pressing towards each other. We're going to inhale to lengthen through the spine. And exhale, go ahead and release your palms in front of you. Spread the palms out wide. We're just going to inhale to lift up gently, like we're coming into crow, but we're not. We're lifting the heels up off of the ground.
So
and then
nice to feel.
exhale to release. So let's try that again. Inhale, if you want to come into crow pose, you can come to a full crow pose, but we're not going to do it here. And exhale, go ahead and release. Deep inhale through the nose. As we exhale, we're going to draw the fingertips towards the back of the room. We're just going to walk ourselves back, allowing our seat to just gently drop on the mat. Take our feet together, and we're just going to walk ourselves back, coming
Let's do
into
heads to the camera
Oh, it's
so we get some
Oh,
privacy.
perfect. So let's just walk our hands back 2 minutes. Let's just hug our shin in towards our heart. We're going to roll left to right. Drawing the shoulder blades towards the ground. You want to allow the head to just rest on the mat. You don't want any tension in the neck area. And then now let's go ahead and separate our legs. Grab the outside of our feet, coming into happy baby pose. So we continue to draw, spin, turn left to right. Maybe you want to press the feet in towards the ceiling in happy baby pose for a stretch along the back, the hamstrings there. So if you had more room, you can also stretch in a V shape, like so.
Oh.
Yeah, so pull your big toes or just pull the outside of your feet and come into a V shape.
Yeah,
And go
that
left to
space,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
And
are
then-
blissed out of here. I just want to wrap up so we can continue to be with you till the end.
Okay.
I just want to thank our terrific crew. Thank you guys so much for being there, being here with us throughout the episode. I'd like to thank Antonio, Lizette, James, Akram, and Tanya. Thank you so much for putting up with us. Thanks to Richard Swanson for the studio lights. the sounds and everything else around here that makes us look good. On behalf of Samara and Melissa, we'd like to thank Betty. Betty, thank you for taking us through this amazing, and thanks for keeping your promise. You didn't make me walk the walls.
No. Simple pose.
So we just move.
Yeah, so let's
Windshield,
just
right?
windshield our feet. So have your feet at the edges of the mat. We're just going to windmill our knees left to right. And we're just going to take the knees to the right side, coming into a supine twist here. Take the right hand, place it on the left thigh. Inhale the left hand up and open up to the left side. Because of space here, I'm just going to put my hand on her shoulder, but the hand should be in line with the shoulder. I'm pressing the right hand onto the left thigh gently for a gentle twist, supine twist. Gaze over to the left side of the palm. Go ahead and take the inhale, take the feet back to center, and we're going to drop the knees to the opposite side. Left hand on right thigh. Inhale the right hand up. Open it up to the opposite side, gazing over to the right side. If you can't gaze over to the right side, just gaze up towards the ceiling. Hands on your yogi's shoulder. This is for support here. Deep inhale to find the length, and exhale, gazing over to the right shoulder. You can try this about 3 or 4 more times for the home viewers. And take the feet coming onto the mat, and give yourself one more hug. Thanking yourself for joining us in class today.
Feels good. That's good.
Rolling left to right.
So all my fears were unwarranted, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if you want, you can take your feet in cobbler's pose for the last pose. So take your feet and drop it heel to heel, HEEL. And then just go ahead and release your hands by your side as wide as, take up as much room as you'd like. And then just close your eyes and relax here for the next 5 minutes. Deep inhale through the
And
nose.
the studio will relax for about 30 seconds.
And
without the-
exhale through the mouth. Let's try that again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Just
Check
allow.
out Betty Ho, Facebook and Instagram, Yogi Sister. And that's easy to spell, so if you cannot spell, check the credits on the screen. You are watching Yogaxpress. We can keep going.
Deep inhale through the nose. And let's exhale anything that we don't need in this pose. And you're ready, you can release the legs and come into a traditional Shavasana pose, corpse pose, last pose, and just release the hands by the thighs, the legs as wide as the mat, and just relax back here. Bring the attention center to your breath. Deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, and spend the next 5 to 10 minutes in this pose. If your subconscious mind is thinking about anything else.
Cut.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know when I used to be in the control room, that was the best thing. Thank you guys.
Sorry for going over. I couldn't see the time anymore.